I think they have to execute like for
You can think whatever you want. That's fine. I can tell you I'm very good at a lot of stuff, and I just learn it, and I nerd about it.
But you do it, and then you make mistakes, and then you do it better, right?
Sure, that's how I can improve myself even more. But I always become very good at stuff by just learning about it for a long time. Give me any topic. Give me any topic.
But you learn the best by doing it. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm a big fan of getting like clients on rev share only, small rev share only.
You don't need that's a huge barrier, especially when you're starting out.
Why?
Just because again, I'm saying it. They are bad at what they do. Like it's obvious. They're just trash. Like I'm sorry. Like you can see it. Like I would not pay them. They're not good at what they do. They don't have any knowledge about what they're doing. They learned the bare minimum to not sound dumb when they're making a pitch. That's it. I guarantee you, if I expose them against all the agency owners who are selling the same services, they wouldn't hold an argument for more than 5 minutes. That shows that they're bad at what they're doing. Spend more time learning about what you do. Spend more time understanding how everything works. There's so much knowledge out there for free. Actually learn it and study it, and then you become good at it. Like I can tell you, I'm selling info. I can have any arguments with any education company in the world, and I'll be very, very good at it. Bring me a whole CEO of an actual in-person university, and I'll teach you the levels of psychology to transform someone's life and to transfer down levels of educations. I know that because I studied it. I also taught and over 1,000 students. That's fine, but it's not just through that.
It's mainly through that.
No, no, of course not.
If you would have just studied,
You don't get to that level of understanding by just doing it, especially it's only been a year.
But volume, it's not time. Volume is what you learn through volume, not time.
No,
so 1,000
no. There's this 100%, but I guarantee you, there's so much stuff you learn from just seeing other people do it, from seeing how other companies are doing it,
yes.
from seeing how other industries do it, from
actually
studying psychology. Like the amount of hours I spent just breaking down how the actual brain works, like how people just have EQ and will understand a certain thing or wouldn't understand it depending on how they emotionally feel, depending on what their train of belief is before they receive the information. Like there's so much depth to it than just saying, hey, learn this, or hey, learn that. Like if you just do it, that's one way of doing it. The other way is actually nerd out about the whole thing. I was like, I'm helping people start a business. What goes into it? There's so much stuff. There's the whole productivity, make sure they do the work. There's the whole training, make sure the actual training is good. There's the whole, how about if they have questions? There's the whole belief, do they actually believe in what they're doing in order for that to make sense? To study this, I'm looking to, what do people not believe in? People, when they go to school, they're like, my degree is trash. Like, I don't even want to listen to it.
But how do you get understanding of the market without market research? And you do market research by talking to people, working with people, you know? Like, I wouldn't have gotten so good without working with so many agencies. Understanding like how agencies work and what problems they have, and I can like now just look at someone and I know the problems and know how to fix them. Sure. So I became really
did you need to pick people up and actually train them, or just speak with agency owners?
Speak with agency owners. I'm not saying they need to charge a
lot
of money, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm saying. Agency owners are on YouTube. People who sell solutions to agency owners are on YouTube.
To them.
That's the exact same thing. I guarantee you that's the exact same thing. You can join communities and join calls with people who are like this. That's what I'm saying. People want to charge clients and just do the service, but when you charge somebody, you set an expectation, you make a promise of what you need to deliver, and then they spend so much time just trying to make them happy by bending all the rules and not really learning how to be good. And they end up being stuck because they're just accepting everything from every client, and ultimately they don't make money. If you want to grow, just become better at what you do and charge higher amounts for better clients.
You're right, but like the question is, what's the fastest way to do it? Okay, and my personal answer is, I decided I want to do edits for creators, and then the next day I started reaching out to the biggest creators, because I was like, okay, let me just like get this sorted out, and then I literally the first email I ever sent got like landed, and the guy hired me right away. He had like 500,000 subscribers. Then the next like 14 emails I sent, another person hired me. Okay. And then I just started working with like no knowledge and like did like one video for each creator every single day. For per creator, we did like hundreds of videos per week. I analyzed every single video, and I could only do that by having access to these creators' channels, their numbers, their analytics, and by executing and by repeating and making better.
Pause. Two things. Number one, how replicable is that? Number two, how much front-loaded skill set did you have in order to get hired by those guys? That's not what those guys' case is. They never would have the chance to replicate this at scale. You can't say that out of thousands of agency owners. The first email is going to land, the 14th email is going to land. They can't do that. The second one is those caliber clients would never work with them because they don't have the skills and the social proof you have, right?
I didn't have social proof,
But you were good.
I was decent. I was alright.
You were good.
I was alright.
If people with 500,000 subscribers hire you to run their channel, you're good at what you do.
But that's the first client I've had like online. I had pre-skills, yeah.
Right. That's the whole point I'm making. Is that those guys, they're going after the 500,000 follower guy, but have no pre-skills. What I'm saying is, nerd out on the topic online and you're gonna get good at it. And then you can get the guy.
How long?
It doesn't matter. Spend a week. Just nerd out on it. Spend 50 hours nerding out on the topic. And if those 50 hours take you a month, you're lazy. But at least you spend 50 hours on it. I would spend the 50 hours in 3 days. And I would become extremely good at it. Like you can literally find videos of me 4 months ago, 5 months ago, saying, I have never ran ads in my life. I don't know how ads work. I don't even know how the Facebook manager works. And you can see me now, people asking me, how do I scale past this amount of spend? Like literally yourself, I built your own funnel. 5 months ago, I didn't know what it looked like. Because I absolutely nerded out on everything. I watch all Jeremy Haynes videos. I watch all Moses videos on the ads thing. I went to mastermind speaking with people. I've spent over 30 minutes in consulting on just specifically ads. Like I know exactly how this works in and out because I nerded out on the topic. That's it. But most people, they were like, yeah, I'm trying to learn ads. Yeah, I button click a few things. I put an ad live. Now I know what I'm talking about. And then they would try and churn and burn clients and they would promise something that sounds cool, sounds like it solves the problem for the client. Ends up they don't have the skill set to do it. They're not really good at it. The client leaves and they keep repeating this.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, then just spend more time doing it. Spend more time being good at it. Become extremely good to the point where you never lose clients. I had the craziest retention in my agency. I had 95% retention in my agency. I would fire my own clients because I would be like, now I'm growing too fast. You're not spending more money. I can't keep you as a client. You're not worth enough for me. I fired over 80% of my clients because they were not spending enough money. The next thing is, all my older clients, I was better than them at marketing. And I don't come from marketing. I just studied it. And then I would speak with the guys. They'd be like, "Yeah, this guy's on it. Let him just run the thing. He clearly knows what he's doing better than us. Let him just run the thing."
It's just like you just need to. If you want to teach this to people, you just need to create a framework around that. You can't just say nerd out. Like what? Nerd out? Like how? What? How do I learn this?
You set a timer. That's 50 hours.
Yeah, but like,
and you have to glue yourself to a chair in front of a screen for 50 hours. So whenever you leave, you press the timer. Whenever you come back, you press the timer again. Whenever you get lazy, you press the timer. If you go on TikTok, you press the timer. And you spend 50 hours, 50, learning stuff. So you watch YouTube videos and you watch 10, 40-minute long YouTube videos. That's 400 minutes. You spent, what's that, 5 hours, 7 hours? That's 7 hours. You got 43 other hours left. That's how you actually become good. I did it. Watch my YouTube history. If you go on any business channel.
The thing is, bro, like I've done this, right? Like the problem, I'll tell you the biggest problem. Like, look, I agree with like 99% of what you say, but this 1% is like just nerding out doesn't work. Like you want to learn ads. You learn all of what you can learn, okay? But then you still, like I understand like saying, okay, put some effort in and you do it. But then you still have to like, do it and then prove that you can do it because some things you cannot learn. Like what happens?
I'll tell you is, I know what you're saying, but what I'll tell you is, all the clients I spoke with, they have 2, 3, 4 clients already, and they're still not good. So they're already trying it, they're already doing stuff, but they didn't do the nerd out part, which is why it doesn't work. It's why I'm focusing so much on it. I'm not saying just nerd out and then not work, or that nerd out and then not use it, or that practice doesn't help. Of course it helps. What I'm saying is these guys are already practicing, but they're practicing with no knowledge. They're practicing just to maintain a client. They're doing the only time they would learn more is because their skill set went below the churn level. Like the client has higher standards, they need to learn to catch up to the client standards. That's like a race to the bottom.
Can I add in actually something? This was my case actually. I feel like it's the case with a lot of people that own agencies. is you learn a small bit. You think you're the G. You start working, and you just keep working with the small amount that you learn.
Exactly.
And you just keep working and working and working and working and working, and then once the client turns, you're like, whoa, what happened there? But then now, after I stopped working with other people and I started learning, I realized that the scale where I was working at is so disgustingly low.
Yep. Most people, they have a super low standard, and the standard is below. Basically, they would only increase their skill set if the client standards increase. Because they always break even. They're like, why should I need to get better? I'm good enough to get my clients.
Yeah.
That's the worst mentality. You literally would never have a chance to grow by scaling your clients and making more money. You never have a chance to get referrals because you're not actually good at what you do.
Yeah.
You're like barely just breaking even, and you're walking on eggs every day. Like, just get so good that then you have to be like, bro, my client is actually bad. I need better clients than that. My skill set is way too high for this client. It's overkill. That's what you want to be in.
Makes sense, yeah.
And that's literally what I said. They practice, but they don't have the knowledge. They don't learn. It's because it's boring. It's delayed gratification. You have to sit down and literally 50 hours. That's literally 50, and you take notes and you learn about it. And if you take one topic, there's probably like 5 to 7 guys who are like very good at that thing, and they post a ton of videos on YouTube. Go and watch all of them. You're gonna see a lot of stuff is being repeated. You're gonna also start seeing how those guys think. You're also gonna start seeing how they behave, how they use a certain word, how they use a common practice. And if you're watching this video, of course you already know that you actually run an Andromeda campaign, that you don't run your campaign this way. And like, you didn't know this, and now you're like, oh, it makes sense. And then you watch the other guy, just like, and again, guys, common mistake: make sure your campaign is the conversion event is done on Kappa and not on AV or whatever that may be. And then you're like, oh, it makes sense. I know that now. And next time, your client who's struggling with his campaign, he didn't watch that video. He doesn't know about that. And then you're the G who comes in and say, oh, by the way, your campaigns, they should be optimized like an Andromeda campaign. And they should be optimized for Kappa or whatever. You will be the guy who knows this thing. And that's what your client pays you. These guys don't do this. The only time they would go and learn something is if the client sends them an email and says, hey, I'm going to churn. Then they're like, I got to improve myself. So I can get, it's basically they have a job. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They have a job. When they get fired, they're going to performance improvement plan. They're going to learn and then come back. That's being a freelancer. That's not running a business. Imagine if Harvard University only improved their programs so that students could actually graduate. Like, how dumb would that be? You have to make your program good so that people want to go to Harvard to become smart. Not just have a program that's decent enough so people can just at least get a job. Like, that's not how it works. You want to qualify people, make them very good. It's the same thing here.
So you say, like, to all of these agency owners that are in the early stages being like literally the first years, you just gotta get
First year?
No.
I think you're stretching out the thing so... That's what I'm saying, nerding out on it. It doesn't take long. There's no topic you cannot learn in 50 hours.
You need to become a master, you need more.
No. Honestly, you can learn about 95% of pretty much anything within 50 hours. And I'm being generous.
If it's a skill, no. If it's knowledge, yes.
What do you mean if it's a skill? No.
Like, if you want to become really good at editing, it will take longer than 50 hours.
Sure, but if you spend your time wisely. Spend 10 hours looking at the absolute best edits. Spend another 10 hours looking at very good editors roasting terrible edits. Spend another 10 hours watching tutorials from the best editors, and then the 20 hours practicing. You're very quickly going to become good. People would spend 0 hours looking at what good looks like, 0 hours looking at feedback, 50 hours editing terrible stuff, and complaining at why this stuff doesn't work. Like, if I try to edit right now, I have no idea how to do video editing. I guarantee you, if I actually spent 50 hours, I would become very good at it. Because I would spend 45 of those hours literally looking at the absolute best editors and how they're doing it. And I would look at so many of them. And it's going to become, I'm going to create pattern recognition on what good looks like. And then I go to the software and I'm like, nah, this is a terrible edit. Yeah, this guy wouldn't edit this way. Now, this guy who's famous wouldn't edit this way. This is how it would actually look like. And then I would fix it. Give me a handful of feedbacks, I'll be good.
that's how you become really good. But I think you're right. The knowledge takes 50 hours, but to become like really, really, really good to the extent that you're saying, it takes longer than that, and it's fine. I'm not saying you don't have to become great in 50 hours. I'm just like, for example, for me, it took literally like it took hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of repetitions for videos for me to
But for these
immediately
guys,
understand.
they just want to beat their competitors and get more clients.
Yes.
It takes 50 hours. Your
Yeah,
competitors, not, like most of your competitors probably spent 5 hours learning about something. You can spend 45 more hours than your competitors, and they're gonna steal all their clients.
So you're saying basically the biggest piece of advice you're giving these people is actually like you're saying they're trash. Okay, and you're saying they
In a
need
nice way.
in a nice way, and they're saying they need to become a lot more skilled and become a lot better before they even try to start like selling something.
Before they start, or like while they start, they need to have their own standards. Like I would feel ashamed having a client that would think I'm decent. Like they need to be like, okay, this guy's a G. Every single client I work with, they always were like, in my agency, in my info, in anything I would do, these guys are like, okay, this guy's on it. Like we've seen other people, but this guy is different.
Okay. And you're saying so for that to happen, they should just take 50 hours and put that all into nerding out on one specific topic that they want to sell on.
Yep.
So ads, content, marketing, awareness stages, funnels,
And
landing
it's
pages.
actually so crazy. Alain spent what 3 hours this morning on just visual hooks. I guarantee you, he probably knows a lot more about hooks and visual hooks than most people who do Instagram content. Just because he actually tried. He literally spent 2 hours, 3 hours on TikTok, on websites, and Googling the top 100 viral hooks. And then just scrolling on TikTok and saving some of them.
Yeah.
Like, no one actually does that.
I've been thinking about this latest part. I don't know why this thought keeps on popping up in my head, and I hear you guys speaking about this. I've been thinking about if I were to do editing. I think if I used 50 hours on editing, I would know how to edit videos
Yeah.
to a certain standard. I genuinely believe that actually.
I think a lot of people just
No one studies. They spend most of the time trying to play and like compete and trying to sell and all that. They get the minimum skill set to just be able to sound smart and sell it. And then they close the client,
I
they
agree with
panic,
you. I'm
they
not-
learn a bit more to catch the standards, and then that's it. Whereas if you want to make money, you become very good at the thing, you learn a ton about it, and then you practice, then this is your client's standards, this is where you stand. They raise their standards, you're good. They keep raising the standards, you're good. And guess what you can do when you're here? You get better clients. When they have those standards, you make a lot more money. That's it. You never get churn, you get to pick better clients, and you make more money. Just become good at the thing you do. It's extremely simple.
Also, I think one of the reasons they don't realize they're so bad is because they don't get feedback on what they're doing. So they think what they're doing is amazing. Again, back to my example when I was doing whatever I was doing, I thought I was the best because nobody came and told me this is trash, fix this, fix that, fix this. Like even for example, the ads that we were writing, straight away, whenever I wrote something, I would ask you, I would be like, what do you think of this? You tell me, maybe fix this. And then I would write again, I would ask you again. I think we did this for like 2 or 3 times. And then I wrote that really sick three ads that were really, really, really nice. Just because I kept asking for feedback.
Yeah, one thing also huge. Make sure if you're in a specific industry, be a man. Don't be afraid and get feedback from people who are within your industry. So if you're a video editor, don't ask your mom how your edit is. Or don't ask your client what he thinks, because he has no idea. Ask someone who's better than you and who's actually going to be honest. And he's going to say that it's trash. And you're going to have to crush your ego and fix it. And he's going to say it's trash again. Crush your ego again and fix it. But then you become good.
Yes.
Yes, t-shirt. It's wrinkly.
So you think people can make 20, 30K but still be trash?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like honestly, like looking at like the most agencies, like, actually not good. Like I wouldn't hire them.
But what's sad is that those guys make 20, 30K, but they don't feel safe, they don't feel comfortable, they don't feel good with their skill set. So they technically don't really have financial freedom. Financial freedom won't come from the money you make every month or from the money you have in your bank account. It comes from how good you are and how much potential you have of getting paid in the future. That gives you actual financial freedom because we can wipe out all your assets, all the money you have, all the connections you have. If you're actually good, you're gonna bounce back straight away. You're gonna get new clients. You're gonna there's always gonna be demand for businesses to find people who are very good at their job. Like that's always gonna be the case. If you're very good at one very specific thing that's very helpful, you'll always have a job. You'll always have a way to make money. That's financial freedom. Having cash, having clients, whatever, that can go. If you're very good at one thing and you can help businesses make money with it, you will always make money. That's it. So those guys who make 20, 30K a month because they dunked on a 14K PIF, 50 months up front, some madness rev share with a guy who never had enough of before, just got dunked on his head, he doesn't know anything about content, and this guy's making a script and getting a 200-pound editor from Pakistan to fix it for him, and the guy's getting like 500 views and he's scratching out. This guy doesn't have longevity in his business. And then he's laughing.
The thing is, like, I fully agree, bro. Like, actually crazy how many people, like, imagine me, I'm trying to find an editor, you as well.
Yep.
Like, 99.9% editors is just fully trash.
Yep.
Like, how do you not even spend time getting good before you try to sell it?
If actually there's editors watching this, the editor market for good editors is actually so good.
Yeah.
But like what we're speaking about is not like a fancy edit or like this animation,
That's what
3D
people
motion.
focus on for some reason.
I wanna eat a pillow.
Why do people focus on this so much? I
But
don't
what you
understand.
actually need to be good at is extremely simple, is be a man and start focusing on getting views on stuff that matters. Learn how to get attention and direct attention. That's what you do as a video editor. How do you get attention, retain attention, and direct it to something that the guy will end up making money with? That's your job. Find good ideas, find good positionings, make sure people like it. Make sure the video goes viral. Like that's what you should be good at as a video editor.
Storytelling, emotion.
Yeah, storytelling, catching the emotions, like using the right positionings. That's what your job is. If you think your job is button clicking and adding some nice animations, then honestly, a VA or AI is gonna replace you in like 6 to 12 months.
I think it's just, like, most people are just, like, very lazy. And they try to take the easy route, which then becomes the hard route long term.
Yep.
Because I, like, for example, like this, I'm the same, right? Like, if I want to become good at something, like appointment setting, for example, I'll set appointments. I'll go in there for like as long as possible, message, test out different variations, see what performs better, see what converts better, see what words work, what words don't, when to use voice notes, when not to use voice notes, get all the data and then like analyze what worked and what didn't. But most people just try to sell a service on it right away and then like do the bare minimum. Yeah, I agree. Sad.
They're gonna be fine though.
Just roasted them, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's for their own good. I didn't roast them. I was
You
just honest.
roasted their mentality, like how they operate.
Did I roast people?
I mean, even if you did, so what?
I was just honest. I'm a nice guy.
Trash them, brothers.
That's why competition is so easy to stand out now.
Like, it's actually crazy. Like, honestly, I'm trying to find a person who's good at ads, struggling to find him. Trying to find a person who's good at editing, struggling to find him. And then I'm also trying to find like a person who's. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what's crazy?
Huh.
You're still a relatively small business. There's
Yes.
even bigger business than yours who have higher standards than yours and want to pay more money than you, who are still looking for same people who are as like the same level or better. Like if you're willing to pay, I don't know, 5K a month for a guy who's good at ads,
Yeah.
there's a company who's ready to pay 25,000 a month for somebody who's good at ads,
Yes.
and they struggle to find it. And if that lazy guy who's watching this can just get up and get good, he would get that role and make those 25 bags. But he's just gonna take the easier route and make 2K a month on a retainer with a guy that is gonna make him hate his life because he's not good.
So, okay.
It's 4:30. Almost done.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a big opportunity in the Muslim health and fitness space, specifically fitness. Specifically, there's two categories within that. There's the Muslims that There's the Muslim that is jacked. He's strong, but he's unhealthy. Right? He goes to the gym a lot. He eats a lot. He's bulky, and he doesn't have good cardio. He can't run. He can't defend himself. He needs to. He's scary, but he's not really athletic and capable and healthy. That's one category. Because I feel like a lot of Muslims have that. I want to be strong, right? And alhamdulillah, they have it, but they're unhealthy. That's one. And the third one is just so many of them let themselves go. So many are skinny fat. So many have just an unhealthy lifestyle, which could, and they see it as so hard to fix. Yani they see they need to change everything. Like they need to go to the gym every day and they have this diet and this and it's really hard. Whereas that, alhamdulillah, you can be very healthy and have and reach maybe 95% of a top physique, a good physique, by changing 20% of the things you do, honestly. You just stop eating that thing in excess. Start implementing this small workout at a small cadence. That's it. That's it. Most people can do that. I'm not going to say go to the gym 6 days a week and crazy. Work out at home twice a week.
It's like
for 45 minutes each. That's it. I guarantee you. And stop eating excess salt, excess sugar, and excess oily food, etc. That's all I'd say. I'm not saying cut it off. I'm saying excess. And you have one samosa. Have a samosa. Have two. Don't have like 7. Have a burger. Don't have a quintuple steak double burger with the tacos and fries and a coke and an ice cream as the like. That's what I'm saying. Enjoy. Yani, I'm the first one. You see the vlogs all the time. Alhamdulillah, I eat well. I don't deprive myself and so forth. But very easily, you can change small things and really get a lot of benefit.
Yeah, it's like the water thing you were telling me about.
The water retention.
Holds the water.
Yeah.
That's very easy fix.
Yeah. I realized this with myself. I did a water fast. I lost 5 kg in 7 days. Most of it was water. Because I was not drinking enough water when I was eating, and I was eating super salty foods that had a lot of sodium. Makes you hold water between your skin and your muscles. It holds water, which is what gives you that bloated look. You see people look puffy. People during Ramadan, they look sharper. That's just because you're flushing out water. And you look a lot healthier. Your skin looks better.
Yeah. Makes complete sense.
And it's really small things. Eat pizzas, eat all these kind of things. I'm not saying change that, because that's going to getting that extra 5% of like elite. Don't do that if you're starting out. Eat your pizza before a workout or around a workout. That way the carbs get used when you train, instead of your body tapping into other carbs and then storing the pizza into your body as like fat. You see those small things. People don't know that. I'm not a genius. I'm a business guy. I'm not a fitness guy. If people want to start talking about me, like, that's your thing. Be a fitness guy and do your thing. But I do work out and pay attention to what I eat. And I don't have time. I travel a lot. I probably have one of the worst conditions when it comes to like having it easy to be in a good shape. When every 2 weeks you're in a different country, you don't have a place where you're like at home and you can have like somebody making you meals, etc. I train in whatever gyms. Sometimes it's the hotel. Sometimes I have so many. I know it's gonna sound crazy. I have multiple gym subscriptions. I have one in France. I have another one in France because it's closer to my office. I had one back in Dubai here. I had one in Algeria. Sometimes I get a daily pass. Those are small things. But if you like, that small thing leads to another small thing, leads to consistency, leads to you a few years from now being healthier. And if you look deeper, like in the real future, actually this leads to like 30 years from now, you being able to still make sujood when you're 65. That leads to you being able to spend more time with your kids when they get older. When you can race with your dad, when you're with your kid when he's 15. He's like, my dad is the big guy. That's why I say this. I think it's a big opportunity. And I'm saying it's a big opportunity because most people who do it extreme. They say, hey, you're fat, you need to have a 6-pack. And they go like, opposite. You don't. I can guarantee you're going to be very happy, have a very healthy lifestyle, eating normal food, but just knowing what to avoid as excesses. It's exactly like if somebody is a non-Muslim and you say, oh, you want to join Islam, you have to be a sheikh and a da'i. It's like, no, bro, just stop drinking alcohol. Just stop the excesses and follow be neutral, follow what's the minimum, and you'll be good. Like, pray 5 times a day, don't do sins, don't commit sins, and that's it. Just worship Allah, that's it. That doesn't seem as hard. That's gonna get you about 95% of the transformation you had from being a non-Muslim to being a Muslim, and then you can go for that extra 5%. Go for it. It's amazing. Please do. And like, there's levels in Jannah for that, etc. But people use those extremes, and then that makes it really hard. If you go to someone who's astaghfirullah, in the nightclubs and using drugs and so forth, and the only picture he has of like being a Muslim is somebody who's a da'i, who leads the prayers in the masjid every day, and that's a big jump. Whereas, give him a small jump. Actually, don't forget about everything you're having right now, the sins, etc. Focus on just who do you worship. Worship one God. Start with this. And then the second thing you start implementing is you pray. That's what you do. You pray 5 times a day. Your alcohol stuff, we'll fix it later. Start by just this. Slowly it's going to cleanse. And then it's easier. And so forth. And then he's going to leave the alcohol by himself. And so forth. Just like you right now. If you're unhealthy, you eat too much food, you're not in a good, health situation, like you're unhealthy, not in a bad way, but you feel like you're not in a good shape. That's what I wanted to mention. If you feel like you're not in a good shape, don't look at the extremes and the six-pack and having like being big. No, just go from exactly like the guy who was extreme in a bad way. Just become neutral. You're gonna love your life. Just stop the extremes when it comes to food and start working out a little bit. Or not even working out, exercising. It can literally be a 45-minute walk. You see a lot of people who are out of shape, they stay in the office a lot. They work in the office all day. For those implementing a workout, etc., is going to be hard because they got to find a gym and so forth. Just do a 45-minute walk, a 30-minute walk. Right? Small things. One of my managers back when I was working in a tech company, his simple thing, he was a busy guy. He started by just saying, I'm going to stop using the elevator. I just take the stairs. It's going to be hard, you're going to be, but this small thing can have a tremendous impact on your life. Every single day you're taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator. You're getting your steps in, your body is healthier and so forth. And from this, you're going to realize, wait, a few weeks back when I was taking the stairs, I used to be out of breath at 2nd floor. Now I can go up to the 5th floor and I'm still not out of breath. I like what I'm doing now. Let me go for like a 1 kilometer run. Or let me just do a sprint. That thing is good, man. I like running. I like whatever. Or like start exercising, whatever it is. And then that makes it easier. And a year from now, you're going to realize you start counting your macros and having Tupperwares of whatever you eat and so forth, right? I'm not saying this is like propaganda. You can stop at any stage you like. But start small, and that would lead to you being better. Because overall, that would lead to really changing the way your life could be, akhi. It could be a lot healthier and a lot better situation. People who have, for example, do sports, they have good knees when they're old. They can still pray sujood. They're flexible and so forth. That's important. I said they can still pray sujood. I mean, they can still make sujood when they pray. I'll remake that part. That triggers me when I stutter. People, for example, who exercise when they were young and they stayed flexible. Even you see them when they get older. When they pray, they can still make sujood. Like you see sometimes in the masjid, you see a sheikh, Allahumma barik, white beard, and you're like, do you want a chair? And you see him, nah, he's like proper, and that's mashallah. And then you ask them, how did you do it? And he said, I always stayed healthy. I always kept doing something, etc. That means now, when you're here, start slowly. Inshallah, you'll get there.
Would you say this applies also to people who want to make money online? They set these crazy expectations of, I'm trying to make 10k per month straight away when they're already making zero. Or people who make a crazy routine. They're like, I need to wake up at this time, put this in place. They're not even doing anything now.
I'll keep it simple. You mentioned 2 points. You mentioned the crazy routine and the crazy goals. The first point, my first goal when I started my online business was to make 800 euros per month. And somehow from the steps I took, alhamdulillah, by the
Tawfiq Allah started making 5-10K a month, etc. A few months after having that goal, just because I kept taking the right step. I never thought ever in my life when I started, I would never thought, yo, let me make 10K next month. Let me do. Never. I was just looking at it and I was saying, look, I make 800 euros per month in a restaurant and I'm serving food, etc. and so forth. Can I just make 800 euros maybe sending emails, maybe just being a copywriter, maybe just whatever I could find? And I can make that on my laptop, akhi. I don't have to go and like touch food that's grown out and like, I don't have to do that? Ajib. Sign me up. That's it. And from that I was like, oh wait, I made 1,000 euros, you know, just brokering a deal. How can I make more? Of course. But that comes after. And for the second thing, when it comes to people having this crazy routine, people are gonna laugh. I'm gonna break all your mental beliefs. Alhamdulillah and Allahumma barik. I made more than 10K per month while waking up at 1 p.m, not journaling, not having a crazy diet, not having meditation sessions, not having a mentor, not watching podcasts and listening to podcasts. What other misconceptions people have?
How many business books did you read?
None of them. I never actually finished a book in my life. What else?
Did you implement a calendar system?
Never. Even till this day, I run alhamdulillah, multiple businesses, and the only thing, alhamdulillah, I have akhi, is my note-taking app, the notes on iPhone. I just write my to-do list when I have like 3 things to do. That's it. Meeting with this guy, hire this new person, and review this. That's it. And when I finish, I double click and I cross it. That's the 7-figure productivity tips. So no, you don't need any of the online fluff. The only things I was doing was working. I was working a lot of hours, as in I would sit in front of my laptop and do stuff for a long time. So if I was sending emails, I would do that for a long time, 6-8 hours per day. And I was making dua to Allah to help me out throughout the whole time. Those are the only things generally I was doing. With the second point, alhamdulillah, my family was making dua for me. I had my mom making dua for me. That's it. No. This is ajib. I mean, Shams, on a serious note, you live with me, right? So you've seen me travel, do business things, etc. Run my company. What is my routine like?
Very random.
Tell them. Do I journal? Do I have the mindset things? Do I have affirmations in the mirror in the morning? Do I say you're gonna make it? You're okay? What? Describe my morning routine.
It's random but it's structured. It's like
describe my morning routine so that they can get it.
Okay, you wake up. You pray. You sit down to do some work.
See, get it there. That's it. I wake up, I pray, and I get to work. Do I do anything else?
No.
Do I journal? Do I write down what I dreamt about? Do I plan what my life goal is and reflect on, or do I just pray and get to work?
That's it.
And that's the routine I had so far. And maybe you'll need another routine, by all means. I'm not saying don't do that. But if you think you need it in order to be successful, you don't. Because I've been there, and I've also seen hundreds of other people who never had a routine and were very successful, alhamdulillah. I also saw a ton of people having a routine and stay broke. What makes you the money, what makes you successful is the work. The hours you put in and the du'as you make to Allah to grant you success. That is what makes success. Not the mindset, not the routine, not how many eggs you ate this morning, not if you're using almond milk or soy milk, like none of that. Just do work and ask Allah to help you out. That's it. And you'll get rich. I can tell you that. That's it. That's crazy, subhanAllah. That was a sick clip. You pulled out the camera at the right time, man. Come on, man.